What's up, my guys? We are back. This is the Juice Box with episode 32. Happy Easter to all of our juice heads out there. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the tens of thousands of views you give us weekly. Thank you guys so much. Big Czar, how's it going, man? How's isolation treating you?
It's good. It's good. Nothing's really changed since last week, just doing a lot of sitting around and playing a lot of GTA. That's how I'm living my life these days.
There you go. But for me, things have been okay. I don't know. I've been working, so it's kind of made things more normal, I guess, back in my life. Like, even though everybody's wearing masks and gloves, and I make sure to have gloves on, and I'm taking everything super seriously in terms of cleanliness. I don't know. I really think it's a matter of time before they just snap their fingers and say everybody's going to just have to open back up, and you're just going to have to be smarter in terms of keeping your hands out of your mouth, wearing masks, gloves, and stuff like that. I just personally don't think that everybody can be shut down this long anymore past April 30th. But that's just my opinion. I don't know if I'm right. Probably wrong, but whatever.
What's up with you, Tiggy Nation?
Yeah, so it's been a busy week just with work in general. So, I'm living my life like 95% that I would if I wasn't quarantined. So,
Yeah.
But finally done with that. Happy Easter. Woohoo! Got my basket right here. Pumped. A lot of chocolate.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wait, dude, can you go through the basket and show us what you got?
You want a basket right now?
Yeah. What's in there?
I always get a nice little Pez guy that I always put on the seat next to me. He's my accomplice.
All right.
And then I actually got some Reese's eggs because I started liking peanut butter this year out of nowhere after I thought I hated it for first 24 years. So I got some peanut butter eggs.
That's crazy.
You gotta pop those in the freezer.
I got a cross, no Jesus, shout out. Thank you for dying for our sins. And got a little car. Gum and a Cadbury egg. Caramel,
Ooh, nice.
always. And then I got like the Survivor Beach probably maybe intersexual visor that I wanted. And it's got like all the Survivor 40 stuff on it. So
I like
Dude,
it.
so you're like a diehard big time Survivor fan. Like that's
I
like
love
your
it.
show,
I
right?
love it. I always like rewatch seasons and stuff. I'm big into it.
Would you consider something like that a sport?
No, definitely not. I mean, it's definitely like a strategy. It's a game. It is a game at the end of the day, and what separates that from like, Big Brother or other stuff like that is there's just so much. There is a lot of strategy in it, but there's also a lot of like emotion, and you got to play on people's emotions to get you further and further into the game. It's very complex. I just like it. It's a very good strategy game, and it's more social than like physical. You normally think of the challenges and like how hard it is, but I mean, usually the most social person there, if you can last to the end, you'll win.
Yeah, I feel that. That's actually, I would say that's a big time Big Brother strategy too. But I haven't watched Survivor in a while, but I know with Big Brother, you want to try to milk those first 6, 7, 8 weeks. You want to be on everybody's good side. You don't want to be winning a lot of competitions in the beginning, but you want to make sure that you have those relationships so you don't get put on the block. And then after the cast gets cut from 16 to like, I don't know, 10, 9, or 8 people, that's when shit really pops off. So I feel that. But dude, Czar, I want to hear this dream, bro. Tell me about your dreams.
I can't.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. We did talk about this already.
I already told you about it. Can't talk about it.
Yeah, moving right along. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I've been all right. I was a little pissy yesterday, I think. I was just getting annoyed. I don't see anybody except like, Jake and my mom and dad, so it was kind of getting to me yesterday. But I got outside, I got some yard work done, stacked some firewood that I got. But it's been all right, whatever. Yeah.
I want to bring something up too before things get rolling. JT said a preposterous statement a couple days ago, and I wanted to just make sure that you guys heard this so I can hear your opinions. And I quote, Wendy's chicken sandwiches are just as good as Chick-fil-A's, and I'd rather go to Arby's and have an Arby's melt than a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
I would
Um,
rather get a melt from Arby's than a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. I'm not saying Chick-fil-A is bad. I'm just saying, personally, I'd rather have an Arby's roast beef sandwich.
I could see where you're coming from with the Arby's statement. Like, if you're just a fan of roast beef, like you just like it better than chicken.
Yeah. Well,
then,
I don't know. I love Arby's roast beef sandwiches. They're so fucking good.
so, like, that one's not too preposterous, but saying that a Wendy's chicken sandwich is just as good.
Thank you.
Now, I think Wendy's chicken sandwiches are better than Popeyes. I do not like Popeyes chicken sandwiches.
I don't think I've had Popeyes.
I've tried them twice in the last couple months. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Now, is it different chicken that they use, or is it just the normal chicken and they just put it on a sandwich? Because I was talking to somebody about it, and they made it seem like you could just go buy Popeye's chicken and then make your own sandwich out of it. So is it different chicken that they use?
Well, I can't really speak on that. I've never really had Popeyes because there's not one around. But my parents, they go visit my sister. There's a Popeyes near there, so they've brought back just the sandwiches a couple times. And I don't know what the normal I don't know what like a chicken basket or whatever has in it, but I don't know. I could see, I guess, why people like the Popeyes chicken sandwiches, but they're not for me. It's a personal thing, I think. So
Just a personal preference.
Yeah, you gotta leave it up to your taste buds.
Yeah, man. That's all it is. That's all it is. But guys, this year's Easter is probably going to be a little bit different for everybody. You guys got any plans or anything going on today?
I just know I'm gonna go to my dad's probably eventually for I don't know a half hour, an hour, and probably just hang out.
Yeah.
Usually just watch a show with them or something like that. Probably not gonna go to any like grandparents or anything like that. I think one of my grandpa on my mom's side might come here if we have like dinner or something. Allegedly we're doing a family Pain Gang soccer thing right now. I don't know. We're having like a soccer tournament or something in the afternoon. I don't know. I don't see that going very well, but I think we're all
fun.
gonna trudge up to Wheeling Park and play World Cup or something. I don't know what's going on.
Dude, I love World Cup.
What was your country?
Shit, I can't remember. Latvia.
Latvia? I was always on Italy, but I would say Italia, thinking I was cool.
That was a fun game, and a quick interlude. I had to take Alex to the hospital.
Oh, folk.
Down in Huttonsville because he was heading the ball too much. He was hitting the. So he's gave himself like a concussion. I had to take him to the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
Where's the closest hospital down there?
Back in Elkins. Right? Is that Elkins down there?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. That's a Mon General, I think. Yeah. Okay.
I think so. Yeah, it's only about 15, 20 minutes. I mean, it's still like if you need a hospital for something serious, 15, 20 minutes is a long time, but not.
Yeah.
It wasn't too serious, and I was kind of giving him shit. I was like, "You're making me drive us all the way to the goddamn hospital. It's 2 a.m. right now." I was pissed.
Dude, and for those that are very unfamiliar, those are like 1-lane roads, both sides, pitch black, no lights. You're just driving through small ass towns. I mean, I've driven through there during the day, but when we went up to Snowshoeing, we had to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember
same road.
Yeah, I remember telling Brady, I'm like, dude, this is awful at nighttime because there was one point to where he didn't even see him. I saw him up far ahead, but there were like 5 deer just walking in the middle of the road. And if you're not paying attention to that, you're just going to run some fucking venison over, baby.
Yeah, but there's no lights, but it is a beautiful road during the day. It really is. Really, really cool views and stuff like that. Actually, I really just love that area in general out there in the cut.
Well, I was telling my mom, I don't ever remember even when I was growing up, people saying that they were going to snowshoe for the weekend. Like I remember Seven Springs, but I don't ever remember anybody saying snowshoe, and it's beautiful up there. That whole little like town thing with the bars and the shops and all that. I mean, you wouldn't realize that you were like in the sticks of West Virginia once you get on top of the mountain. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've never been to Snowshoe. I've wanted to go. I say that about all the, mountain resorts around here.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. Too. Yeah, I would love to go do something like that, but I never do.
Nope, me either. I've been to Seven Springs one time, and it was for New Year's Eve. So like I wasn't even on the mountain or anything. I just was in the big cabin bar.
Yeah. I didn't realize who was telling me. I can't remember. Somebody in the winter went up to, I think it was Seven Springs for the weekend. I didn't realize they have like a couple bars there, right? I mean, that'd be a really fun thing to do. Like,
the
get
foggy
a cabin.
goggle.
Yeah, like get a cabin and then go in the winter, go to these little, fucking lodge bars or whatever they are. That would just be fun, something to do. Maybe one day. Maybe I'll just keep talking about it and never do it.
One day we'll do it.
Yeah.
Are you guys big winter sports fans in terms of like snowboarding and that?
Well, I used to be really into snowboarding. Like I would go all the time. Not so much anymore. Like I haven't gone in a few years. I think snowboarding is sick. Like it's cool to watch whenever it's on. But, I wish I would pick it back up. It's such a fun thing to do. I don't know if you guys have ever snowboarded or skied before. It's so much fun and relaxing.
Yeah, I used to be I'm still into snowboarding, but it's been a while since I've actually done it. But I stay current with everything, like the products and stuff. A few years ago, I was the snowboard tech at Alpine here in Leon. Yeah,
I always forget that.
So I know a lot about it, but it has been a while since I've been on a board. I tell you.
Yeah, same. It's been like got to be like 6-7 years. I went to Seven Springs. I went to Seven Springs like on break from college with the Central crew. The Wheeling Central Club or something like that, and me and Eric Gompers went as part of the club with like Aaron Kale because his mom was in charge of it. And we ended up going, and it was really cool. It's just like it's fun to, like I don't enjoy the jumps or anything. I just want to like go down, enjoy the scenery and stuff like that. But it just gets so exhausting, and it doesn't look like it is exhausting. Tiring. It's crazy.
See, I think that's what's really cool about out west. You get these mountains where people tell me, it'll take 45 minutes to get to the bottom. So you're coasting along just for like that amount of time. Like I said, I've not been on Seven Springs Mountain, but it's probably quick to the bottom.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you could take your time. I think
it could be like a minute or two.
Tig, did you go, because I was a junior, did you go when we went to Seven Springs? Like, remember we had like that snowboarding club at Central?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's what I meant.
No, but he said he went in college. Did you go when we were in high school?
No, I never went there. I only went that one time, yeah.
Yeah, I just remember it was, I think junior of high school, we went to Seven Springs. It was fun.
Yeah. I'm not athletic enough to participate in any of those fun sports, but I will say I'm a big fan of watching them. Like I like when in the Winter Olympics or like any of that X Games shit that they do with the snowboarders and the skiers. And like the downhill competitive skiing, there's a movie that's on Netflix. It's called Molly's Game that me and JT just watched. And it's a true story about Molly Bloom, who was a big time skier that ended up running the biggest underground like poker game ever and was making all this money with all of the celebrities and rappers and sports people and everything like that. It's on Netflix. I mean, it's amazing. I'm obsessed now with Molly Bloom. And Molly, if you're listening, sup?
Is that the movie that you guys wanted to talk about?
Actually, no. But let me touch on Molly's Game real quick. Number one, Jessica Chastain, absolute fox. You guys need to watch it. She's a very pretty girl, but something about Molly's Game, dude, she is just wow. But anyway, in case you guys watch it and won't figure this out, Michael Cera, he's in it. He's like one of the main gamblers. I'm not giving anything away. He's one of the main gamblers of her, underground casino thing. But his character is based off of real life Tobey Maguire, which is
Oh, really?
yeah, it's really cool. There's a lot of big people, I guess, who were portrayed in that movie, which is really cool.
Eminem's one of them, and it's so obvious because he comes in with his hood up. Quick story: my old manager at Enterprise, her family goes out to Vegas all the time, and they're big time gamblers. And her aunt is a very, very good gambler, so she always plays like poker and stuff for hours. She said she was at a table by herself, and an entourage walked up, and some dude sat next to her with her hood up and a hat on, and it was just those two that played for, I think she said, like 1 or 2 hours. She never looked over, but when she left, she like looked over to see who it was, and it was Eminem playing with her. Like that would be a crazy experience if you knew how to do all that shit and you were just playing poker against Eminem, and if you were good at it, you could potentially take a lot of his fucking money, which would be crazy.
That'd be sick. I wish I was good at poker. I'm awful at it.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm a blackjack kind of guy.
I'm not good at any cards, actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think of it.
Yeah. Just anytime I've gone to the casino, I just watched my friends play. Like, I would be the hype man in the back. Like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, nice hand or whatever. Like,
JT's that chick with the big titties out behind the guy just seducing him.
yeah, literally, that's me. But, so the movie I wanted to talk about, okay. A movie has never made me cry genuine tears. Like, I've never cried. I'm not afraid to cry, but movies just don't make me cry. This fucking movie made me cry yesterday. And it's Pixar's new animated movie, Onward, with Tom Holland and Chris Pratt as the voices. You guys need to watch it. I don't want...
Tell me the dad is.
Oh, and the dad, he's only in it. His voice is only in it for a quick minute in the beginning. But the dad's voice is the Slapshot Regatta guy.
Is it really?
Yeah, but you guys need to watch this movie. It's so fucking good. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, actually, it's weird you said that. We were thinking about watching that Friday night. I should have.
Dude, like those Pixar movies, I'm a sucker for a lot of the Pixar movies, so normally they suck me in. But like this one had like my emotions. I mean, I could feel my emotions running through my body, like the anxiety of the story and what they were trying to get accomplished. And at the end, it was one of those movies that actually like made me feel something. And I just remember looking at JT after, because we had it finished by like 9:15 or 9:20. And I was just like, what a way to start the day. What a way of whirlwinds, just to wake up and just smack you around. And then you just go on with your day. Onward.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bad Pixar movie. They're all
No,
pretty
but like,
good.
I'll find one.
it just literally blew my mind. Like, I literally cried at this kid's movie.
You didn't shed any tears during Up?
No, see, like, it's weird. Like, movies never make me cry. Like, I can get really sad about them, but for some reason, I just never cry in a movie. I don't know, but this one just hit me hard. So you need to that's your homework this week.
I'll watch it.
Watch it.
I'll watch it. I don't know if I'm up for a good cry, but I'll watch it. There's only been a few movies that ever make me cry.
Name some of them.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy is fucking sad. It really is.
It is sad.
But no, I didn't cry. Up made me get a little bit wet in the eyes, just a little bit. So did Toy Story 3, man.
Toy Story 3, I always forget
yeah.
about that, but yeah, that end scene, I'm with you. That does hit hard.
And here's a movie that actually made me cry. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but you ever seen the movie Radio
Oh yeah.
I never watched that one. No.
Cuba Gooding?
with Cuba
Oh yeah.
I know
Gooding
what it
Jr.?
is.
Dude,
Yeah.
that movie, there is some heartbreaking fucking scenes in that movie that like I couldn't handle. I mean, it's
about that movie.
dude, that movie. I don't think it won any awards.
I think Cuba won something.
Did he?
I think Cuba won something. I'm looking it up.
For some reason, I was thinking last time I looked that movie up, it didn't win a goddamn thing, and I was shocked because, I mean, that's a very hard character and role to play in a movie.
It's a true story, right?
It's a true story, yeah. And at the end of the movie, they show
Oliver.
the real guy in the team, the football team.
Yeah.
But
Might
yeah,
have to watch that one.
that movie is a tearjerker for sure.
Yeah, so actually, no, he didn't win. He won like an NAACP Image Award for his acting in radio. He did win an Academy Award, but that was for Jerry Maguire for supporting actor.
Yeah.
Shout out Tom Cruise.
Show me the money.
Another thing maybe they've been on here the whole time, but there's a ton of nature documentaries on Disney Plus. Okay, and I got really into the penguin one the other day. It blows my mind, like, the shit penguins fucking go through, dude. Like, honestly, the travel, and it's so fucked up. Like, so, their kids just are growing up. They're about to, move on with their life. And then they all just get fucking snatched up by leopard seals. I'm like, dude, tough world out there, man. We have it too easy out here.
We do have it too easy, and it is wild when you watch. I mean, even there was a bear documentary, an elephant documentary. What these animals have to go through when they're young or they're a parent guarding their young is crazy in terms of the circle of life. Like, just imagine walking down the street with your family, and all of a sudden, a group of wild, crazy ass animals are gonna try to kill you. I mean, I couldn't imagine walking down the trail and getting surrounded by 10 lions or something like that, and then just being like, okay, we got to fight our way out of this one. Like, it's crazy to me.
The animal kingdom is pretty ruthless. The only thing that separates us from that is just the intelligence that we developed over, however many fucking millenniums or whatever. I don't know. Long time.
We're the apex predator, baby.
You guys have seen True Detective?
Yeah. Fuck, I love that show.
So good. There's a scene in the first episode that always just makes me think. It's Matthew McConaughey's character just like going on and on about his beliefs in the car, and then Woody Harrelson's like, what's he say? He's like, why don't we make this car a no talking zone? It's like, sometimes I wish you'd just shut the fuck up, Russ. but his character says something. He's like, somewhere along the lines, he's like, humanity got too self-aware. We got too smart. And like, that line always sticks with me because it's true. Like, why are we the species that became hyper intelligent over time and like developed in that way? It's pretty, it's
crazy.
I'll tell you why, and I mentioned it before. Fucking aliens came down and fucking had kids with chimpanzees, and then here we are.
No, but I love talking about this stuff because it amazes me how long we've actually, how little us humans have really been on the earth in terms of like people coming to America and the United States. It really takes, if you take 3 100-year-old people, that's how long we've been on the earth.
No.
Wait, what?
No, not the Earth.
I'm sorry, the United States.
Yeah, the United States. I was confused.
According to Jake, human race is 300 years old.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. But it's wild. Like, if you just think back to 3 people, we really haven't been here that long.
Well, yeah. I mean, time goes faster than we think it does. I think it's crazy. I watched that Boardwalk Empire show a lot. And the first episode of that show is Prohibition, when Prohibition starts. So what? That's 1920. That's already 100 years ago.
It's wild.
I mean, also when Peaky Blinders is going on too.
Yeah, same time period.
Yeah,
it's
and
wild.
It's crazy, and it just makes me think like these people were no different than us. They just literally had to deal with the resources that they have or had versus what we have, and it's crazy. Like, when is enough though? Like you just said with your line and your self-awareness, when do we get to a point where we don't really need to know everything that's in the ocean. We don't really need to know everything that's in space. Let's just live our lives. Like, it is wild.
Like, when do we hit the point where we plateau with stuff like that? I honestly think we're past that point.
Really?
I mean, sometimes you got to wonder, like, is all this technology necessary? Like,
what scares me? I was thinking about this yesterday, or all week I've been thinking about it. This whole like quarantine, everyone's like, oh, this is gonna bring everyone together afterwards, and like everyone's gonna go back to how things used to be. I was thinking, what if it's the complete opposite? What if this is getting us so sucked into like our computers and our phones even more, to when they say, okay, you guys can go out, everyone realizes, well, we don't need to. Like, we can talk over the computer. We can do everything over the phone. It's scary because it's like right now, especially, that's all we're doing on our phones, on our computers, playing Xbox. Like, that's all anyone's doing right now. And it's like, what if this goes on for a while and then they're like, okay, everything's back to normal, and then we forget how to go back to how it was, and everyone's just locked into their technology stuff.
That's a scary thought.
I know. I was thinking about that. I was like, ew. Like, and then I was saying, these big corporations that haven't closed down and have people working from home are going to realize they don't need all of these workers, actually. Like, they can still run with people sitting at home. Like, we don't need half the workers. And then that's a whole other thing that could be a problem. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think could be an issue, the work stuff. This whole ordeal might change working, just in general. You're right, they might cut back on people. That people might see that it's beneficial, just to have work from home, like just permanently. But not that would be bad for some people. If you could work from home but still have a normal life outside of work.
Absolutely.
With the quarantine stuff, it's starting to eat away at people, and people are just running out of things to do, and I'm running out of things to do. I don't know.
I was thinking, what we should do? If this goes on, like, who knows, like all summer or whatever, and we're still technically supposed to be like social distancing, we should all get like kayaks or something and go kayaking or something in the summer. Because I was telling my parents yesterday, like, I've been all right these first couple weeks, but if this keeps going on, like, I need something to do. Like, I can't just keep sitting here. Like, like, I think going kayaking would be cool, though. Get a nice kayak and just, go where people kayak. I don't know. But that'd be a fun thing to do, I think.
Yeah, that should keep people 6 feet away from each other, too, being in the kayaks. Yeah. We'll start it out at the creek, come all the way down to Kroger by your house.
Yeah, that'd be fun too. And then we were sitting at my parents yesterday around their little fire pit, and this could change the way that concert venues, restaurants, and everything have to set up, because they could limit capacities now. Like, maybe a place that was allowed 100 people, you might have to spread the tables out or the chairs out, and now you can only let 50 people or so in. So I mean, potentially this could change the way we live forever. I think positively. With me, I don't think that this is going to be the thing that changes the way that life goes forward. But I do think we'll be alive when a virus or something hits where life permanently will change. I just don't think it's right now, personally.
Yeah. I see a lot of people saying that this is something we're going to have to deal with forever now. Hopefully they come up with a vaccine for this, and we can all get vaccinated and move on, just like anything else that happened back hundreds of years ago with big pandemics or epidemics, whatever.
Yeah. Back to I had to backtrack real quick because I had a thought and I forgot to say it about penguins. Okay. Sorry. Dude, isn't it crazy that they're birds, but they fucking swim? Like, they don't fly, they swim. Dude, imagine if there was a fish that just flew.
That is true.
Like, you know what I mean?
Isn't there a fish
Yeah,
that
but I don't, that, like, floats in the wind. I literally mean, like, what if a fish's means of travel was just flying through the air? But they lived in water. Dude, it fucking blows my mind. Penguins are birds, but they swim. It's crazy. Sorry. But
penguins
it was
are
on
so
my mind.
cool, dude. They're one of the coolest animals.
Yeah, and when they have their babies, they have to. It's like 100-mile round trip or 50-mile round trip to get food for their young. So the babies just kick it there, and the parents the whole time are going back and forth, bringing food, feeding themselves, and bringing food back. That's what they do for like, what was it, like a month or two?
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, all of a sudden, you're just like, oh,
What was that?
you're gonna. I don't know.
Accidentally took a snapshot.
Snapshot regatta. All of a sudden, you just have to cross like this ice path, and then there's a chance that just a leopard seal is gonna yawp you before you get out in the ocean. It's crazy.
Don't they have to worry about orcas too?
Yep.
Killer whales.
Fucking Steve, man. You need to watch his penguin. His name's Steve. But we'll move on from the penguins because I could go on for an hour about them.
I feel like also with the penguins too, like
Okay, let's keep it going.
I feel they might, not saying it's acceptable or anything like that, but they might not feel the same emotional attachment to their children and kin, one, because of that, and two, just because like they can't really communicate as well as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
did you guys know penguins fucking... Jake may have said this. I zoned out for a second. Penguins fucking stick with one mate their whole life.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Isn't that sick?
Fucking awesome.
I really like that fact about
That's
penguins.
so cool, man. Like, and my boy Steve, he was trying so hard to find a girlfriend, and they were all ignoring him. But then he found one, and I was touched.
For
Very
the listeners, who is Steve?
Steve is the penguin on the Penguins documentary on Disney Plus. So they follow Steve around his whole life.
It's awesome.
It's fucking
dude.
sweet.
All right. Did you hear that, listeners? You're welcome. I answered the
Yeah.
question. Everyone was asking.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, listen to watch Penguins on Disney Plus.
And then too, Meghan Markle just came out with the elephants documentary on Disney Plus. And what fascinates me about elephants is they have one matriarch the whole time that runs their whole group or whatever you want to call it. So, you have your birth mother and everything like that, but you ultimately, everybody looks up to one wise woman elephant, and they communicate by vibrations in the ground from their feet and of where they need to go, because they have to, I think it's, what is it, like a 6-month journey or so? It's a far journey, and there's cameras that follow them just like the penguins, and they must have had a GoPro drone or something, and they fly this camera all the way up, and it shows across this desert all of these ancient elephant trails with watering holes, and it looks like this big maze. It's incredible.
Somebody poisoned the water hole.
These are all on Disney Plus, you're saying, right?
Dude, you need to watch them.
Everybody needs to watch them.
Another thing I noticed on Xbox, I was like surfing all the games you can buy. There's so many games on there. They have like Zoo Tycoon and shit on there, dude. I love Zoo Tycoon. I might buy it. I was so into that game.
You
By,
should get Game Pass if you...
That's a funny story.
Speaking of
You know, the one night I said I was drunk driving, playing NASCAR.
Yeah.
I accidentally bought the Game Pass on I was like, dude, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but somehow I bought the Game Pass on Jake's Xbox.
It's legit now. I mean, you have like over 100-something games you could play now.
Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
there's so many games on there. It was like I could get sucked in. Speaking of gaming though, Tiggy Nation let me borrow his Switch.
ooh,
I haven't played it yet, but I'm probably gonna buy Mario Kart for it because I'm a big Mario Kart guy.
please buy it. I'll play online with you.
Can you like have a headset and shit like Xbox on Nintendo?
No, I mean you can, yeah, but the shitty thing about Nintendo's online services, it's still a bit primitive. Is that the word?
Yeah.
They're just like behind the times with their interface and stuff. Like there was talks, and I was so excited about this, and they did go through with the talks a little bit, but there was talks about a year ago that Xbox Live and Nintendo were going to collaborate, and like essentially
Whoa.
Nintendo was going to use Xbox Live's like online platform. And I was so excited for that because, you know, I have a Switch and I have an Xbox, and if I was going to be able to do things seamlessly between the two, I mean, that's just real exciting. There is a few games that you can get on the Switch, and I don't know what the titles are. I'm sure Tig could find it in a quick Google search, but there is like 1 or 2, maybe 3 games that run Xbox Live on the Switch.
Okay, I'm checking right now.
So it's pretty crazy, but if that ever happens, it'll be great. But yeah, we could still play together. It's just a little bit finicky, like getting it set up sometimes. But yeah, we could play together. And
can you have a gamer tag? Like, do you have a gamer tag?
It's not. You make like a Nintendo online profile, I think it's called. So yeah, it's kind of like a gamer tag.
Because I've been thinking of gamer tags. I think I'm gonna go with hot honey garlic.
I like that. I like that.
Dude, so at what point, because right now we're supposedly in the peak when everything's supposed to be very, very serious. I don't know if you guys saw Jim Justice just put us in a 11. I think it's 11 other or we're included. She's in here. Or including the 11. We're on like an executive like stay-at-home order now where we're not supposed to be around 5 or more people, yada, yada, yada. At what point do you think there's a chance that the internet may crash with so many people staying home at the same time and everybody either gaming or using the internet at once? Do you think it's a possibility?
No way.
No, yeah, I'm with Tig. I don't think the internet itself will crash. I think there's a lot of potential for individual servers to crash.
I gotcha.
But even so, I mean, I feel like I feel like there's so many majority right now that's already on it and stressing those levels daily already, where I think if it would have like crashed or had problems, it would have been in the early stages, you know, of this quarantine and stuff like that and the stay-at-home orders and everything. But like we mentioned, what was it, like Hulu, Netflix, and Pornhub were already like stressing their servers and trying to like build them up bigger and bigger because they knew of the influx of traffic coming.
Yeah, my Netflix is running extremely slow. And that's the only one that's actually struggling. Like Hulu's balling, YouTube's fine, Disney Plus is fine, but for some reason, our Netflix here, it is on a struggle bus.
Netflix sucks.
What are you running Netflix on? Are you on the Xbox?
Apple TV. Yeah.
See, it's weird. On my Fire Stick, everything's running smooth, all of them. But on my Xbox, all my streaming apps are running a little slow. Like Hulu, Netflix, HBO Go, they're all kind of slow.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. It's so crazy the fact that for the next couple weeks or so, we really are supposed to be on like lockdown as best as we can. So that's why I was just wondering, because I've noticed the past couple days, you know, Netflix. I haven't tried it in my room, or even on my phone, but yeah, on the Apple TV, it's stinking.
So speaking of movies, one thing I wanted to mention, since we're all Fast and the Furious fans here, if you have HBO Go, the extended version of Fast 5 is on there, and I've never seen the extended version.
So you haven't watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
Fuck, I don't even what's in it. Like, just do we know?
Extra scenes, I think.
Fuck, dude.
So, and that's
that's
arguably the best Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah, me and Jake need to get HBO back because I need to watch Westworld season 3 too.
That's one show I've never gotten into. Oh my god, I've tried and it's stinks.
I'm with you. I could not get into Westworld, but did you guys see that thing about Westworld and Game of Thrones? Did you guys see that?
Wait, Chance was telling me about that.
Dude, there's a clip of them walking through the things.
Yeah.
And it's the two guys that created.
And isn't Drogon in it too?
Yeah, and they're with the dragon, and it looks like they're about to like chop him up. Like
Dude,
they got like butcher stuff on.
That's a sweet like little whatever you call it there, mashup or whatever.
Little Easter egg, but people were fucking pissed on the internet.
Really?
like Game of Thrones purists and people that are still bitter about how the last season ended were just going off about it. But it was crazy to me that they did that, because people made this ever since Westworld came out. Everyone would make like little theories like, oh, what if this whole time Game of Thrones is just another one of the lands or whatever, or
Get
parks.
the fuck out of here.
And like they actually put that Easter egg in there, which is wild.
Dang, I didn't even think it that far into it. That's wild. But yeah, that's crazy. But you know what I was thinking? So my dad and my mom made like a little new garden thing in their backyard yesterday. Mm-hmm. I want to get just one pot and just see if I can grow fucking tomatoes just in my little pot.
You should try it, dude. I bet you'd be able to.
You know what I mean? Just, need something else to do. It'd be cool to just grow some tomatoes out back in my little pot.
You should do it.
And too, I mean, especially times now, it's not bad to have your own small little garden. I mean, it would help you not having to leave to get vegetables or whatever the fuck you're making, and you could live off shit like that. Living off the land, baby. That's what they call living off the land.
Yeah, and to go back on the Xbox and Switch thing, Tig just sent me an article, says Microsoft is publishing games other than Minecraft on the Switch. So it's Minecraft that runs the Xbox Live thing on the Switch. Games like Hellblade and Cuphead are no longer an Xbox exclusive. So there you go. There you have it.
There's your fun fact for the day.
So I watched a movie last night.
Okay.
Called Good Boys. Have you guys seen that yet?
Love that movie. I went and saw it on, I think it was the premiere night or that Saturday. I love it. I think it's a fascinating movie.
It's hysterical.
The spin, but yeah, you can explain it, but the spin that they put on it is great.
Well, here's my issue. I missed like the last half hour of it because I just missed it. And so I don't think I saw the spin.
What I mean by spin, I don't mean per se the ending. It's amazing how they take sixth graders and they plug them into a super bad world and have them talk like sixth graders would talk, except they just don't realize what they're doing.
Dude, it's very the movie had me thinking back to when I was in sixth grade. Minus the drug talk, it's very accurate.
It's so accurate. It's extremely accurate.
I didn't know anything about drugs in sixth grade, but all the sex talk and stuff is extremely accurate. And I was cracking up, and just little things, dude. I was drunk watching the movie, but I was cracking up so hard when it's right at the beginning of the movie. I think they're chilling at the skate park, and that one kid just skate park is lit, just lit today.
Yeah,
dying.
It's so funny. Just the premise of the whole thing is that these sixth graders are trying to learn how to kiss for this dance or party, and the whole time they're like, oh, am I gonna get invited to the cool kids party? And it's literally just people go over to a house and chill in a basement like you used to when you were younger. I don't know, it's great.
Yeah, really good movie, and it's on HBO.
I haven't seen that one yet either. But that just made me think, you guys, you were saying sixth grade. I was a fucking late ass bloomer. And I just remember people started talking about BJ's. and I would think I had no idea what we were talking about. I remember in the hallway at St. Mike's, I grabbed Jake because he was in 8th grade. He probably doesn't remember this. And I said, Jake, what's a BJ? And he like did the motion with his mouth, like you know what I'm talking about with the tongue.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. That's so funny, man. I don't know why. You guys talking about that movie just brought back that memory. That's so funny.
I can remember in 6th grade, the big deal was when people were making out with each other. That was such a big deal in 6th grade.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so-and-so made out with someone? Oh, shit, they might as well lost their virginity. It's like, that's how big of a deal it was.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. Nobody was giving anyone BJs in 6th grade. We were just taught. I just heard, like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, I wonder what that means.
Dude, I remember girls were getting finger blasted in 6th and 7th and 8th grade, though.
Yeah, definitely some finger banging going on.
And I do remember, like you just said, you'd be like, oh, so-and-so went with so-and-so to the movies. Wonder what happened. Oh, they made out. Like, that was the big thing. You'd go to the movies like Friday and Saturday night, and that was your excitement, was going to the mall, which is crazy. The mall will now probably be almost non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, I loved going to the mall in like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, meeting up with like a big group of people. It was interesting I know you guys went to St. Mike's, but so like we didn't really, I mean, some St. Mike's kids would meet up with, obviously everyone would be there.
Yeah.
But like, it was kind of cool with OLP and St. Vincent's because we had the joint football teams. So like, we were just friends, and it would be
just better.
We were just, it would just be a big joint group between the two schools, which I always found to be a lot of fun back then. I loved going to the movies.
Yeah, and it's still, I know we've brought it up a couple times, or maybe we haven't. It might have just been in conversation, but that arcade that's in the mall now is just ridiculous, and it's sad to think that, like, if things do change for the worst, people will have no idea what an actual arcade is, like younger people growing up, or even a movie theater for that matter. Like all these, I saw there's a lot of movies that they're dropping. Yeah, gamer baby. There's a lot of movies that they're dropping that just weren't in theaters. So
yeah, the current arcade over there is lit, but
Dude.
The original one was pretty sweet too.
Yeah.
What was it called? Aladdin's Castle.
Yep.
I can't. Yeah. Yeah, I loved going to
Like
the
Aladdin's
arcade,
Palace?
man.
Was it Aladdin's Palace?
Yeah, Aladdin's Palace.
You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good arcade too. But yeah, the new one's bit. It's big. It's spaced out. They got mini golf in there.
That's the thing that blows my mind about that. That's what I was gonna say is the fucking putt golf in there. That's so sick.
It is sick, and they have duck bowling too. If you guys haven't done that, try it. It's a lot of fun. It's just bowling with like mini pins and a mini ball, so you can like palm it, and you can just whip that fucker down the lane.
Like a coconut on an island.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, if we ever get out, we can try
for
it.
real.
Sheesh. Yo, speaking of gaming, did you see yesterday on Saturday they did on NBC SN? They had the iRacing IndyCar, and
No, did they?
yeah, and did we talk about last week how we said the one driver got dropped from a sponsor because he rage quit and stuff like that?
Bubba Wallace. Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it, but I did hear that news. I don't think we talked about it on here.
We might not have talked about it, but yeah, so he's driving like stock NASCAR racing, and they're all playing online, all the racers. And I guess Hamlin, this was earlier last week, like Hamlin is kind of in his way. He bumps Hamlin from behind. Hamlin goes out, and Wallace is trying to pass him on the outside, and Hamlin just comes and crushes him. Like, I don't know if he lost control of the car or what. He kind of came in and then just kind of like swooped, went to the outside. I think he was going to crash anyway, so I don't think necessarily he was crashing. But Wallace got spun out and crushed into the wall. He turns off. It was like lap 9. He rage quit, completely left the game. He's like, I'm done. Apparently you get 2 resets where you just start back in the pit car so you can keep going. He quits out of the match. His sponsor completely drops him after the fact because, they're paying for that logo to be around for 140 more laps that they didn't get that exposure for, so they were pissed. But this past Saturday they're doing Indy cars, and first lap, like
Saw
20
that.
car pileup.
I saw that.
So that was hysterical. But I guess Dale Earnhardt Jr. was racing, and he got like third or fourth, which is cool.
That's cool.
In the Indy one, he was racing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and local boy Travis Braden was racing in one of them too. He was racing yesterday, and I'm pretty sure he was racing against like the big dogs like Kyle Busch and all those guys. So it's amazing what they're doing. I don't know if you guys have checked in. Barstool has a Rubbin' His Racing podcast, so I've been looking at like Clinton Boyer and all those guys while they do it. The mods and the setups and like that they get put in their house, it literally looks like they're inside of a car. I mean, they have the screens all across the front, like the rear view, the main thing in it, and you could see how similar playing that game would be to actually racing, it's amazing how cool that is. Because I feel like that's one of the only things sports-wise that you could do to make it that realistic. Like you could never do. I guess you could do it with baseball, but it'd be very difficult. Like basketball, football, all that shit, it'd be very, very hard to do with. In racing, you're just sitting still. So if you were flipping through the channels, you'd have no idea that that's a video game on TV because it looks so real.
I think it's very cool that they're doing that, and it's crazy to me that it's so like spot on. Like it's mirrors basically, like you said, like real driving. The thing that is crazy to me, though, now is that you take that risk of injury away or crashes. So that, if you have a hothead driver,
That's
they
where
can wreck somebody now on purpose to stop them from winning or stuff like that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. These drivers have to be so much more ballsy now.
Oh, they have to be.
Because what are they going to lose? Yeah, they lose the race, but they're not fucking hurt or anything.
Yeah, like you're not destroying a car and parts that sponsors pay for. Like it's all virtual. So like Tig said, the sponsors basically only paying for their name to be out there.
Yeah.
It's not like they're buying, car parts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess one thing they could do to kind of like deter that behavior would be like big fines, for like the sanctity of the sports. Like you can't be like, listen, you've crashed 2 cars in the past like back-to-back races and it looked pretty intentional. They'll have to have a committee. And maybe they either like suspend them like multiple races, so like that's a paycheck for them they're missing out on. But you got to have some sort of like punishment for that, obviously, or else because
I think
I
think in real NASCAR, isn't it like points based?
Yeah.
So like I do think in real NASCAR, like you do lose points for like if you bump other racers and stuff. So if they kept it the same and maybe made it a little bit more harsh, like if you intentionally wreck somebody, like sure, maybe you intentionally wrecked them, they didn't win the race and you did, you still lost a shit ton of points. Like, yeah, you got the race win under your belt, but you didn't really get that many points towards the, like the final cup or whatever they.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's amazing that they're doing this too, because they're setting up positive exposure when racing does come back. Like if you're having iRacing going on and you have all these big dog racers that are racing in it, and then you have a Joe Schmo like myself that gets really good at it, all of a sudden, a big iRacing platform could open up, because why wouldn't I want to play video games against Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Clinton Boyer and all that if I'm that good? So potentially kind of how the COD League's doing it, we could seriously see here in the future a pretty big iRacing watch party, because it's proven that people will watch it on TV or they wouldn't keep doing it.
I think we will.
I agree.
Think it's inevitable.
Yeah. Speaking on the fact, I think it was with the F1 series. There's one racer who he always has he gets 100,000 plus viewers on Twitch, and every back-to-back starts his like game crashes.
Oh no!
And he's yet to even race, so everyone's just like laughing and hysterical. That's funny. But speaking of like how realistic it's getting, I in my mind, I feel like I mentioned this multiple times. Maybe I didn't do it on the podcast, but we all watched. Or Zara, did you watch Ford v Ferrari yet or no?
No.
Damn, sad. Didn't do your homework. But
I
so
know.
in that movie is based off of the this big French 24-hour like super race or whatever, or endurance race they call it. So 24 hours this car is always moving. They have different drivers, yada yada yada. And there is an Amazon series on Amazon Prime called like the Race Telamon. And it follows like a few different drivers and a few different like brands like Nissan, Audi, and one other I forget. Maybe not Ferrari. Either way, regardless, I think Porsche. But so one of the racers for Nissan is a 17-year-old British kid, and how he got on the team for Nissan, he was top 50 of the Nissan Academy team online playing Forza Motorsport. He was that good in his rig at home that Nissan invited the top 50 like placers of their academy team out to like their headquarters and facilities and stuff, and had them do like endurance testing and like running, cardio, just like get him in shape. Like this is like what it takes to be in one of these cars for 24 hours, like because they're doing like 4-hour plus shifts and stuff like that. And he legit got a spot and raced at Le Mans at 17 years old because he was that good at the fucking video game.
That's crazy. That's honestly
in the spot.
insane.
So like everything
That's
what
like
we're
a
talking
dream.
about is true.
Dream come true.
Yeah.
Like literally, because he's so good at a fucking video game that he gets in the actual race.
Yeah.
That's mind blowing.
And he got to ride in the actual car, like he drives online and stuff. And he was like, I mean, other than like the sensitivity of the clutch, it's like it's the exact same thing.
That's honestly mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
It is. I really want to try one of these. I wish it was, easy to get a at home rig. I would love to try it.
Dude.
You can get like the pedals, a steering wheel set, and like the shifter, I think, all together, probably like for like a couple $100. But it's like, unless you're gonna play it a lot, I can't justify spending that.
No. So what are they actually playing? The NASCAR game, or is it some simulation game they're playing, or is it NASCAR 20?
I'm pretty sure they're playing NASCAR Heat 4, which is what I play. It's the exact same game. It's got the dirt track, it's got the truck series, and then the 2-car series, and it's so realistic. Like I'm coming up. I just started my own career, and I'm doing dirt and truck, and it's crazy how realistic the drafting is. Like when you draft somebody. You know how the old games would be is you wouldn't have to worry about that stuff. You'd hit the gas and you would just fly. Now you have to draft with the people or they'll smoke you. Mm-hmm. So you have to learn how to hold the car still to where you can stay behind somebody without wrecking somebody. Because if you try to get all crazy and just pass people and do everything, you're going to get smoked and you're going to get left in the dust. And I looked up like some big rig just to see how much like semi-professional one would be, and the one that I found, it was like $2,000. Oh, look just like the Denny Hamlin one, and I'm like, holy crap, these things are expensive as fuck. But I guess if you're a die-hard race game person and you invest in it, I mean, and win stuff, I guess wouldn't be bad. But I was shocked for how much they cost.
Be sick. It's got me thinking for a while there, and I haven't watched it in a while, but I got real into watching rally car racing, specifically in the X Games. They made it a part of the X Games because I like those like rally cars, like Subaru STIs, WRX, and the Evos and stuff. I wonder if they're doing like professional simulations of that. I mean, that would be fun because those courses are really cool. They got the jumps, and it's all a dirt track normally. But sometimes they have the hybrid courses where and it's all like drifting too. So like, like we're into that shit off, from Tokyo Drift. It's awesome. But there's some hybrid courses where it's like half dirt track, and then you go onto the pavement parts where you're expected to drift around these crazy turns and then back onto the dirt part of the track. So really, really cool. That'd be awesome to see, like if the professionals are doing simulations of that.
Yeah. That would be... If they're not doing it now with the success of all these other like Formula One and that, I bet it's only a matter of time if they keep people like in the stay-at-home orders, because they're such a success right now. I mean, they're putting them on national television where some people, I mean, at least here in West Virginia, some people still might not have internet. The only thing that they watch stuff with is TV. The fact that that's on TV, you know people are watching it.
Yeah, absolutely.
NASCAR's back. It's about to take over once everything goes back to normal again. You watch.
That's still if it becomes normal thing again, like that's something we all need to do is go to an actual race. I heard it's amazing.
Dude, I may have mentioned this last week, but literally, if stuff goes back to normal, we have to go to fucking Daytona 500.
Dude, I'd be so down.
Like,
So
that
down.
shit has to be unreal.
I heard it's just like
American as fuck.
extremely exhilarating. Yeah, it's American as fuck for sure. But just like when that cars go by, like it,
Yeah.
your heart and stuff, like it just sounds very exhilarating. And the party sounds fun too. Like if you can, I don't know how, like I don't know the different, packages or whatever, but there is a way that you can get in the middle of the track, like in the center,
the infield,
and you can, like tailgate there.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
That'd be cool.
Dude, yeah, it has to be like your package for parking or whatever. But yeah, that's like a big part of it for a lot of people is the infield.
Yeah, there's packages I'm pretty sure you can buy that includes one of those RVs too. So like you literally just show up at the infield and I'm pretty sure the RV's chilling waiting for you ready to roll, and then you just party in there the whole time, which is what I would want to do. I think because then you get on top of that RV.
Yeah, I was gonna say you get on top.
Watch it go around. So I mean, I'd be so down with Daytona and even Talladega too. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, Michael's moving to Charlotte. And I told him, we have to figure out like when they're racing in Charlotte Motor Speedway, because I'll definitely go down. Because like if he's living there and I have a place to stay, that'd be so fun to do.
We had plans, like Brooke and I wanted to go to the Coca-Cola 500 or whatever in Charlotte, and I can't remember what happened. Something fell through with the planning, but we really wanted to go. That would have been a lot of fun.
I hear everyone like that's gone to Daytona, even though they haven't been like big racing fans or anything like that. Like they all have just like incredible reviews of it and stuff. I'm pretty sure Bobby and like Jimmy McCleary went from camp.
Oh really?
I'm pretty sure they went like 1 year, like maybe like a decade ago or something like that. But I'm pretty sure they went 1 year and like they loved it.
Doesn't surprise me, man. Like you said, everyone I've heard talk about being there, like at any kind of NASCAR race, says it's just amazing. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's one of those. I feel like it's one of those things that you want to do as an experience. Like you always want to go to a football game, basketball game, baseball game, but like going to a NASCAR race, like you just said, Tig, even if you're not into NASCAR, and just something like the Kentucky Derby too. It's like one of those things where you have to do it as the experience because it's very, very exciting. Yeah, but I do want to ask Czar, how was Dave?
Yes.
Did you like Dave? What's up?
I did a lot. I binged through Dave, which is Lil Dicky's. For people who don't know, it's Lil Dicky's new show on FXX, and it's on Hulu. It's incredible. I don't want to say it's incredible or like best show I've ever seen, but it is. It's a pretty incredible show, and it's just like it's funny because he's a comedian. Like if you've listened to his rap stuff, like it's satirical rap, and there's a huge comedy factor to it. So he's a good comedian. He plays the comedic role very well, but it's also just a cool little insight, really, to the rap industry. I know it's probably not all 100% factual, but it's I think loosely based on his actual come up story, and it's pretty sweet. There's a lot of actual rappers in it and people associated with the hip hop world, and there's some what the fuck moments in it too, and some actually like genuinely serious moments.
Yep.
So it really hits all levels of emotion, which I like. So
you just started it, right? Like you, right?
Yeah, but I've been
watched
through
it all.
Yeah.
So what about the part fucking where he kills his kid's self?
Yeah. I was like,
that just reminded me like straight like Kylo Ren, like let the past die.
Seriously.
And he does that, and then he marches out like zone the fuck in, and then he's jumping on stage.
Yeah,
Dude, I swear, I had so many chills during that part.
What a scene, right?
It
I
was
mean,
so
that was amazing.
sick. So freaking sick.
It caught me off guard though. Like, he starts fucking smothering his child self, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" I was like, the tone really just changed in this show for a minute, and it was the same thing, dude. I didn't realize at first that they were doing flashbacks with Gata. And that flashback where he's like has a mental breakdown in the store. I was like, damn, this is like some real shit. Like this is not supposed to be a comedic moment at all. This is like serious.
Well, and I like it because it goes out of its way to learn the past of all the other characters too. Like, I feel like not a lot of shows would dedicate whole episodes or 3/4 of episodes to side characters. You wouldn't really see that. And like this past episode with Emma and Taco's character, and then like the flashbacks with Gata, I don't know. It helps explain the entire story instead of just some kind of joking show like a lot of people, including myself, assumed that it would be before I started watching it.
Right. So do we know how many episodes this is going to be this season? Did they give like a count?
I was just thinking that.
Part of me thinks it's 8, which would mean that this week would be the season finale, but then it could be 10. I really don't know. And it's wild. I've been listening back to his first album, his professional rapper album or whatever, and he does say a lot of stuff that's popping up in the show, even if it's like little things or like things that happened in his life. Like we're seeing it in the show. Like one example, even in Freaky Friday with Chris Brown, he has that lyric where he's like, why the fuck does his mom keep calling me or whatever? Like the whole time his parents are always calling him and can't hear him on the phone. And it's just stuff like that's cool that they're throwing little tidbits in.
Yeah. So I just looked up just how many episodes. It says one season, number of episodes 10 on this answering question. So that's awesome. We get 3 more because it is very funny. It's very cool. It's very, like you said, Dart, it's a very good insight. And I'm not a big rap fan, and I love the show. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's right up my alley. Like Jake was right when he said last week, he's like, it's right up, you're going to like it.
It's perfect.
I mean, he's exactly right. It is right up my alley, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I've always been a Lil Dicky fan. I'm pretty sure when I think back on who got me into Lil Dicky, it was Jacko. It was definitely the one who showed Lil. I'm pretty sure, dude.
Yeah,
he showed me the I always freaking blank on this song name. I talked about it last week too.
Let Me Freak.
Yeah, the Let Me Freak, because we were always talking about that, and I recently did Sheets line. Like how he's saying how like he cleaned his bed sheets, like trying to get the girl to come home. But yeah, dude, it's a really funny show. So I recommend it to anybody for sure.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping we at least get another season or 2. I'd hate for this to be a one season show, even though it was amazing. But it's wild, like you said. I mean, Taco. He's a big guy from Odd Future. Andrew Santino's a big-time comedian. And that Christine Coe, who plays Emma, Allie's friend, I've been seeing, because I follow her on Instagram, she just had a new movie come out on Netflix called Tiger Tail. So I'm going to check that out, too. So it's such a cool look at, like, a group of friends in that kind of sphere of life. I don't know.
Yeah, and for the record, I didn't realize that was Taco until the 7th episode. The whole time I'm watching, I'm the 6th episode? Or no, it was just the 7th, right?
Yeah.
I was like, man, this guy looks familiar. I'm like, oh, I must have seen him in another movie somewhere. And then the last episode, it just dawned on me. I was like, that's fucking Taco from Odd Future.
Right?
But yeah, so I think it's definitely going to get a season 2. I was reading that it broke viewer records. And did you guys ever watch Atlanta?
Yes.
Did you? That's apparently people were comparing the two a lot because It's Childish Gambino's show, right?
Yep.
And it's kind of his story on being a rapper too.
Yep.
So people are comparing them and similar. Well, apparently Dave broke the first season viewership records of Atlanta, which I think
wow.
Atlanta had a lot of records.
Well, Atlanta, when it first came out, even the second season, I mean, that was a big time show. Everybody was talking about it. Like, you'd see it on Twitter, hear it in interviews of different rappers, actors, actresses, whatever it may be. So the fact to hear that Dave's show is breaking those records actually is amazing, and it's definitely a plus side that it's happening during the quarantine too, with people looking for shows to watch. So even though he wasn't trying to do it, perfect timing.
Right, perfect timing.
Where did Atlanta drop? Was that on HBO or Netflix? Or?
FX.
No, same network.
Oh,
FX.
really?
Dave is FXX, but
was it not on Hulu though? Maybe at that time. Maybe that was why.
It's on there now, but yeah, I don't think it was on there before.
That was something that was mentioned in the article I was reading, that Dave has the streaming advantage.
Yeah.
Whereas that wasn't dropped on a streaming service, back when it came out.
Shout out Childish Gambino. Isn't that Donald Glover, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's another person, dude. Extremely talented, and he's funny too.
He's just good in movies, like in The Martian, like the Rich Purnell maneuver or whatever like that. And also Jessica Chastain's in that movie as well. Shout out Martian.
That's a good movie, Martian is.
Yeah, I would much rather watch that than Interstellar in terms of like just rewatchability.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I've not seen Martian, but I've seen Interstellar.
Wait,
Martian's
is
good.
Jessica Chastain in Interstellar too?
Yeah, that's
She's
what I
the
was
daughter.
thinking. Isn't she the daughter?
Also, Matt Damon's in it
She's
too.
in both of them. Now that I think, Matt Damon and Jessica Chastain are in both
They're in
of
both
them.
of them.
Wow.
Dude, and I swear her and Bryce Dallas Howard are twins, bro. They look exactly the same. The chick from Jurassic Park with Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
They look identical.
Yeah. Wait. Who's Bryce Dallas Howard?
The
What's
girl
he
in
in?
Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, that's a girl. Okay, yeah, Bryce.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Yeah.
that's
No,
a girl.
they look a lot.
Yeah, no, you're right. From Jurassic World, she does look just like her.
Yeah.
They're like,
I thought it was her.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Back to Donald Glover. I don't think you guys are big fans of the Lion King remake, but he did really well as Simba.
I haven't watched it yet.
He was
I
really good.
can't
Simba,
have an opinion on it.
I mean, he's very talented too. He's a good singer, and he's, like you said, he's funny too. He's one of those guys too.
He's a hell of a writer. He's got writing credits on a lot of shows and movies and stuff too, and he was in that Community show.
I was just gonna say that, dude. It's now on Netflix.
Yep, just got put on Netflix. Yep, it's a good show. That was in, like, people would consider NBC, like they consider NBC had that like little era going there for a while where it was The Office, 30 Rock, Community, and
Parks and Rec.
Which one?
Was it Parks and Rec?
Yeah, and Parks and Rec. Yep.
Yeah.
Those four were all on at the same time. It was kind of, they were killing it there for a minute.
Yeah. Speaking of Donald Glover, because we keep talking about him, there's a contestant on Survivor this season who has won in the past, looks almost identical to him. I'll have to send you a picture of him. It is hysterical. But
is that Survivor season still going on now?
Yeah. So they just had the merge like 2 episodes ago, and I'm telling you, man, dude, you guys would love Survivor, honestly. God, I'm gonna give you some seasons to watch on Hulu. I just watch it. It's awesome to watch with your girlfriend or something like that. Shout out Czar, because he has a girlfriend. Lucky, but
I don't know how with this mustache I got, but
it looks great. But yeah, I remember watching them with my parents and JT when we were little, Survivor, and then all of a sudden, I mean, we probably watched the first maybe 10 or 11 seasons, and then we did the full swap to Big Brother, and Survivor just kind of went by the wayside. But I mean, I'm a huge Survivor fan in terms of what they have to do, because I know I wouldn't be able to do it.
I think I would be a big Survivor fan. One, because I love MTV's The Challenge. I love that show.
And
we don't have MTV.
One guy who's on it right now used to play in Survivor, the Jay guy, who I guess won the first challenge.
Yes.
He was on Survivor, one of best seasons ever, season 33. And that, you want to get teary-eyed, you watch that whole season in the reunion. Oh my God, blubbering mess.
Yeah. Yeah, Jay actually, he was on X on the Beach, which is an MTV show, and then that's how he got on the challenge. It's weird how they do it. So originally, like, MTV's The Challenge was just Real World and the Road Rules.
Yeah.
But now it's so many shows. They got Big Brother people on there, X on the Beach people, Floribama Shore people.
Big time overseas
Yeah.
CBS shows that they use. So right now, basically, they take the like kind of big time American reality athletes and then they bring them over from like the UK and all these other countries. So it's brought in a crazy dynamic because a lot of the times you would assume that like the Americans would work together and the United Kingdom people would work together, and that's what they did in the beginning. But they're forming all these relationships, so they're starting to, over the past 3, 4, 5 seasons, now they're starting to like backstab each other, which is getting pretty electric.
But I think once the OGs like stop being on there, it won't be as good anymore.
So that's what I was just about to ask, because I used to be really into the challenge, and I'll admit I haven't watched it now. And
yeah, there's still Johnny Bananas.
Okay.
CT's on there. Wes is on there. So I think once all those guys like retire, it won't be. I don't think it'll be as good.
Yeah, the only reason I think it's going to keep going is because you remember Derek Czar, who used to live in Morgantown. Yeah. He has a big time podcast that highlights the challenge and all the characters and everything, and they actually do live shows and the improvs in a bunch of the big cities, which of course are not doing now. But I think that's what could keep the challenge alive, is that podcast, because he brings them in from everywhere, all the big time people, couple from the United Kingdom, and then solely America. So I don't know. I've been watching that show for a very, very long time, and it's cool how they are including a bunch of different shows now instead of just the Real World and Road Rules.
Hey, Tig, I have a question.
Shoot.
So obviously you watch all the Survivors. Did you see the season with Caleb from Big Brother?
Yes. Yeah.
Was he any good?
Yeah,
was he
how
good?
did he do?
Yeah.
So that was that was I think it was season 30 or 32. It might be 32 because I'm pretty sure Michelle ended up winning that one. It was like I think it was like Healers No, it wasn't Healers Hustlers. It may have been like I think it was it was Bronze Brain Beauty, and he was a part of the Beauty Tribe. And dude, he was a workhorse. He was a beast. And unfortunately, I'm gonna spoil the episode or spoil the season a little bit. It was one of the hardest challenges ever. They had to like dig for these like balls in this huge pit. It took literally like an hour, and they're just exhausted. Like they're taking breaks, laying down and stuff like that. And Caleb legit overheated. That right when the challenge broke, he like dropped to the ground, was shaking uncontrollably. They had to bring in all the medical. Jeff legit was like, production team, anyone, bring fans, bring water, bring everything. Like, this is not a drill. Anyone who's not holding a camera needs to get here and help. And they were just pouring bottles of water all over him, and his temperature would not drop. And they had to helicopter him out. Luckily, he was all right, and he ended up coming back into a future season. I think season 34, Game Changers. He came back, but it was crazy. But they mentioned he was on Big Brother and stuff like that. But he was a beast. He was a challenge beast. He was very good.
Yeah, unfortunately for him in Big Brother, he was too loyal, and at the end that costed him. That's one big dynamic at Big Brother is basically you have to be loyal and trust one person, and you have to be able to keep it 100 with that one person. But with that person you decide to squad up with, you have to connive with all the other groups and everything like that. And unfortunately, that just wasn't part of his personality or his game. He got pretty far. I think he made it to where I think he got down to 7 or 8 people, and he might have even worked his way back in the game and got voted out again. But that was his problem in Big Brothers. He was very, very loyal. And actually, Ariana Grande's brother Frankie was his big time partner in the show, and he ended up fucking him over at the end. So that was pretty electric. But
damn.
What do you call those types of game shows? Or if you even call them game shows?
like reality TV shows.
Yeah,
I guess.
that's how. I mean, I would say it's. I guess you could say reality.
Like reality, like
reality
challenges.
TV game or
Yeah,
something.
like
'Cause, like-
something like that. But I'm a big fan of those shows, so I can understand Tiggy's love for Survivor because I've been wanting to play on Big Brother. I even sent 2 tapes in years ago to try to get on the show because it's electric. I mean, 3 nights a week it's on. It's on for like a couple months and it's crazy. You have a challenge episode, had a household episode, and then a veto episode, and it gets heated in there, man. I mean, they show the fights because you're in this one house with these people for the whole time. You have no outside world, no TV, no cell phones, no nothing. So you have to live with these people, and that's your only use of like entertainment communication is those people. So it gets heated for sure.
What was there's another one that was really, really popular, but it involved like family teams. It was like families versus families, and it would involve like kind of like traveling.
It's Amazing Race.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yep.
But I don't know, fellas. I mean, I think it's been a time. I think it's a pretty good stopping point. Happy Easter, everybody. Yeah, basically that's it. You can find me on my Twitter and Instagram at JuiceNixon_. You can always find us on Twitter and Instagram at the JuiceBoxPod. And then make sure you guys are still keeping up. Tell a friend. We're gonna keep putting these out every week, and we hope you guys enjoy them. And thanks to our hundreds of thousands of listeners.
Shout out YouTube.
Don't exaggerate here. It's tens of thousands, okay? Not hundreds of thousands. But you can catch me at punchbowl_ on Instagram. That's punchbowl_ on Instagram. I'm on the Juicebox Podcast Twitter at the Juicebox Pod. Follow us on Facebook, the Juicebox Podcast. We are not the diabetes, the Juicebox Podcast.
Oh, yep, me. Sorry. So I had a few more things real quick. CDL Call of Duty I mentioned it last week. Where the hell's the schedule? Apparently they released it on Monday, and they're playing this weekend. Top 4 still left are Florida, Minnesota, Dallas, and Chicago. So that's heating up.
Florida!
That's this afternoon. Big Booty Mix 17 just dropped, which is incredible. Such a banger. And they even have like Somebody Suck Me in it, which is awesome.
Somebody suck me. Quick shout out.
Yeah.
Quick shout out. My buddy Cody Hawkenberry's handmade fleshlights. Go order one online.
Jesus.
There we go. Handmade. Gotta love that.
I told him I could give him a free plug.
Absolutely. And then there's something did in sports, which is just like so crazy to see now at this time, but it's like a very sad story that Czar's probably seen a lot about. But there's a hockey player for Edmonton Oilers passed away. Literally 24, 25 years old, named Kobe Cave. He woke up like Tuesday morning. His brain was bleeding, and he was like in a medically induced coma. Since then, they had to have a cyst removed and stuff, and he recently just passed away, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah.
So thoughts and prayers up to them. I mean, that's just crazy story, and it's like, and it has nothing to do with what's going on in the world with Corona, with COVID-19 or anything like that. But I mean, dude, it's just.
That's heartbreaking.
It's a heartbreaking story for this kid, and there's all these crazy like just positive stories about all what he did in the minors and like when he got his opportunities in the pros or in the big leagues and stuff. So it's just crazy. So I just wanted to mention that as well. We're thinking about that, but find me on Twitter, Tiggy Nation, TIGGYNATION, and on Instagram at
Money in the Bank Tigs.
Also, we are now on YouTube. If you want to watch our ugly mugs talk, they are on YouTube. Just search the Juicebox Podcast, and we should be up there.
Yeah, that's an incredibly sad story, one that I've been following for a little bit. So yeah, I've been thinking about it. Feel terrible for his wife. They weren't even married for a year, if that. I think maybe a year. So it's very sad, and the hockey world's feeling that one. So prayers up to them. I want to do a quick shout out to Paul Walker. I watched Into the Blue last night. Love that movie. Watched it after Good Boys. So, but was thinking a lot about Paul Walker as well. So shout out to Paul Walker. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at the Juicebox. Actually, I'm sorry, there's no the. Twitter and Instagram at JuiceBoxZar. That's ZAR.
Z is in zebra, A is in apple, R is in respect.
R as in Reebok.
Don't get it twisted.
All right, boys. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Bye.